the Zoomer Perspective. Join us as we zoom through topics and share our Gen Z perspective. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Zoomer Perspective Show. I am Jacob here today with Kevin. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself real quick before we get into our topic?
Well, let's see, where would I begin? Let me tell you, I feel like I'm a 30-year-old trapped in a 67-year-old body.
Yeah.
So for the last 50 years, I've been involved in some kind of ministry, either youth ministry, campus ministry, preaching ministry, and at the same time teaching at various universities and colleges across the country where we've lived all over. And I say we, my wife and family and I had moved all over. So 14 different universities, 11 different states I have taught.
That's awesome.
All human communication kind of classes. And so one of the things that brought me here and why we would know each other is because there's a university here, and I'd love to work with university students.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you had taught at, what did you say, 14 different universities?
Yeah.
That's really cool. And communication.
Communication. Okay. Yeah, my favorite two classes was either teaching public speaking or interpersonal communication.
Yeah.
And I love interpersonal communication because it focuses on how to build relationship. And I believe that relationship is what life is really all about.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, communication, I think, takes us right into our topic, which is true love. And it's hard to have true love without communication.
That would be true. And the base of deep relationship is a genuine love for each other. And don't get all bent out of shape about talking about love, because I can love you as a brother.
Of course.
Or as a friend. That's a different kind of love than a romantic love or even a family kind of love, like cousins have for each other. And so and the Greeks, they had a great
love,
system.
For instance.
Yeah.
We could call it.
Yeah, like Philadelphia. Phila is brotherly love. Delphia is city. Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love.
Brotherly love. Cool. The more you know. The more you know.
Yes.
Awesome. So going into true love, I guess, how do you think society and of itself defines true love in a negative way, I guess?
You know, immediately comes to mind, love is a feeling.
Yeah.
And or I fell in love with this person. And people who fall in love can also, or tend to fall out of love as well. Love is a feeling, and so I just don't feel like I love you anymore.
Yeah.
And so if I don't love you, if I love you, that justifies a lot of actions. If I don't love you, that also justifies a lot of actions.
To where would you agree that love is more, what people consider true love is more of an attraction or a lust towards somebody versus love itself?
A great desire. Yeah. And it's often based on what you do for me. And so one has described love as, I love you if you do these things. I love you if you clean my house. I love you if you'll cook me dinner. I love you or I love you because. I love you because you're so smart. I love you because you're so good looking. I love you because you're so talented. You do so many things. I always feel good when I'm around you, and I love you because you make me feel good. And the love if or the love because really is pretty shaky ground.
Yeah.
Because what happens if you stop doing that?
Yeah.
Then I stop loving you, obviously. So it's a self-centered love for the other person. As long as you're doing these things for me, I feel this towards you.
Absolutely.
Instead of what I think is the ultimate level of love, and that is love in spite of. It's a commitment love. It's an unconditional love.
Yes.
And that, I think, is what we're shooting for. But you see, the world has blown it as far as love is concerned. I mean, I think family. I'm looking back over 67 years now, and I'm thinking, how has my family taught me how to love? Not very well. How's the education system taught people how to love?
That's a big, that's a big one.
How about the media?
Yeah,
and television shows, right? And or worse, on the internet. You have except for this podcast, of course. But whenever you think in terms of like even great things like TED Talks or and we get ideas about love, and yet it's still fails in getting to the true essence.
The core, yeah.
Yeah, like they say in Princess Bride, "Wav, chwoo, wav."
That's what that's from. You keep saying it, but I haven't yet to register what that's from.
That's where
I've seen it before, but I can't remember that particular.
That's where they're getting married. Buttercup is marrying the prince or the king, and the priest is about to marry them. It says, "Marriage. Marriage is what brings us here today, together today."
Okay.
Wav, chwoo, wav.
Oh, I'm going to have to go look that up or rewatch that later.
Yeah,
because
I hope we didn't violate any copyright rules on that. But
nah, usually it's like 10 to 20 seconds of something.
Yeah, right.
Good.
You could use it for educational purposes.
Yeah,
but,
there you go.
So when we talk about love, I think, where do we turn? Where do we go to discover the essence of true love?
Yeah.
And the Bible is fairly clear when 1 John says God is love. Mm-hmm. And if God is love, and Jesus, Bible teaches, is God coming in the flesh, so I'd have to conclude then Jesus is love with skin on. And if I want to know how to love, I'd go to him. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think being a disciple of Jesus is learning, maybe for the first time. I turn to Jesus to become his disciple, and I say, I want to learn how to live and how to love from you, because you made me and you've designed me for relationship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and Jesus shows us the ultimate act of love, and he literally laid his life down for so many people that, I mean, we're all sinners in our own ways, and we all fall short of the glory of God, yet Jesus still laid his life down for us. And that right there shows that it's not, because of something we did that Jesus loves us, that God loves us.
Yeah.
But I think that there is a good example of an essence of true love, I guess.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And in fact, he died even for his enemies.
Yeah.
Forgiving his enemies. And the most cogent and current thing or person who has demonstrated that very recently is when Erica Kirk, in the memorial service for her husband, when she publicly stated, "I forgive you," to the man who assassinated her husband.
Did she really? I must have missed.
Yeah.
I've been, ever since that, I've been kind of off social media. It's been too toxic.
Oh, yeah.
So
I get it. But whenever there were like close to 100,000 people there at that event, and she stood before them and she said, I forgive you, and it was breaking into tears. And she said, that's because Jesus forgives, and that's what Charlie would do. And we learn how to forgive.
That is,
which is part of love. We learn how to forgive from Jesus, who paid the ultimate price, so we can be forgiven.
Yeah.
So, I think there's a statement in the Bible that makes this even more clear. For God so loved the world that he
gave his one and
only Son, that whoever believes in him, keeps on believing in him, should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Yep, absolutely.
So Jacob, if I said, man, I really love you, what have I said? What have I communicated to you?
That you care enough to be here for me if I'm ever in need, or if I ever need a brother or a friend to have an open ear, to listen, to hear, or to help me through a struggle. That if somebody just says it, I guess I may not get that from them, but I know from you that you've shown that love as a brother, that you would be there. Okay. And so that is what I take from that, I guess.
You can depend on me.
Yes,
I'm going to be loyal. I'll be by your side. I'll be honest with you because I'm putting your needs as a priority for me. Yeah. I care about you. What I'm really saying is you're important to me.
Yeah.
You're valuable to me.
Absolutely.
And I think everybody's looking for personal value. They please notice me. Notice how important I am. And so somebody says, well, look at the house that I live in. Look at the job that I have. I'm the president of a company.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to, I'm just a janitor. I don't have much value.
Me. Yeah.
And so we look to jobs. We look at looks. We look to skills, intelligence, possessions. I remember as a 16 when I got my first car. Hey,
Yeah.
and people would notice me now because I have this car, and we're really looking to be noticed and appreciated, valued. Well, what happens with any of those things? I mean, they could be gone in an instant.
Absolutely.
Your house can burn. You could lose your job. You could be in an accident and your face is destroyed and you no longer look like, or you get old.
Yes.
The older we get, gravity still has this effect.
Yes. Well, I think that's a great point as you get old, because if your only basis for love is a feeling or a look or an attraction,
Yes.
with time that will fail, that will fall. The look will change, that attraction will change, and I think that's where talking about true love being a commitment, a choice, saying I choose you. I choose to be there for you when you need it, no matter what. I mean, especially with marriage vows, I do, whether in sickness and health, whether
Prosperity
old age,
or
exactly, whether yes, wealthy, non-wealthy, whether we fall, whatever happens, I choose you. I choose to love you for the rest of our lives.
Yes.
Either one of us.
Yes, as long as God grants us life.
Yes, exactly. And I think that is something that people just say because it's the thing to say, but they don't actually stop to think about it. Stop to think what they are saying. I do, I choose you, and what that means for love, I guess.
Yeah, and that's deep when you consider. And in fact, love deepens as time goes on,
Yes.
and you continue to live out that commitment. When I do loving things with a loving person, I develop loving feelings. But the love is the choice. The feelings, I say the love is the engine. Feelings is the caboose. It follows, but it doesn't push. It doesn't pull the train.
Yes.
What pulls the train is the choice and the commitment. So, if you said, Kev, what are the two basic elements of love? Which I'm going to put those words in your mouth and then I'm going to answer it. What are the two basic elements of love? And I think from the cross, Jesus would communicate this: how valuable you are and how committed he is. So how valuable, I looked to Jesus, okay, you made me, you know me. In fact, you know me better than I know me. So how important am I to you? How valuable am I to you? And he willingly puts his hand on the wood and lets him drive the nails in. He didn't have to do that, and he could have avoided it, but he chose to do that. He laid his life down. They didn't take it. He laid his life down.
Yes.
And he said, you want to know how much you're worth? You are worth my life.
Yeah.
And I had told people that for years, but there was one day I was sharing this with a fellow on the University of Missouri in Columbia, Missouri campus. And as I did, I said, what that means is I look in the mirror and I can tell myself, I am worth the life of Jesus. And when I said those words for myself, I was broken.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought, wow. And so I realized then the power of the reality that God has declared. If anybody knows how much you're worth, God knows how much you're worth. And would you pay the same price for a busted, non-working, rusty Volkswagen Beetle that you would for a 2026 Jaguar?
Not even close.
Not even close. No, because you're an intelligent buyer, and God is no nincompoop. He's not going to pay more for us than what we're worth, and He knows what we're worth. And to Him, I am worth the life of Jesus. And that, realizing that, see, I can build my life on that. I can't build my life on my house or my job or even my relationship with my kids, because they could turn their back on me one day.
Absolutely. They could fade away. They could fail. They don't go with you.
They could reject me.
Yeah.
I mean, my own bio dad did for years, declared I wasn't his, and he rejected me most of my life. And that's a different story altogether. But I'm just, the value statement alone sets us free. And it is a foundation you can build your life on that no one can take away.
Yeah.
No one can change that. And the second element is I think. I'm committed to you. That's what Jesus is communicating through the cross. Greater love has no one than this, that he would, I'm going to use the word voluntarily because it's a choice, voluntarily give his life for his friends. And you are my friends, he said.
Yeah.
So his commitment is, I want what's best for you, and I will do whatever is necessary for you to be in a right relationship with God. And if I can be in a right relationship with him, then I can be in a healthy relationship with me.
Yeah.
Then I can be in a healthy relationship with you. If I'm not mistaken, it's something like what Jesus said. The greatest commandment is, because somebody asked him, they tried to nail him to it. They said, which one is the greatest commandment? Out of the 637 commandments, Lord, which one is the biggest, right?
Yeah.
Or even the Big Ten, which one's the biggest? And he bypassed the 637 and the Big Ten, and he said, here's the first commandment, the greatest commandment. Love the Lord your God out of your entire heart, your whole soul, your entire strength, and your mind.
Yeah.
You're thinking things through. Love God with all of that. Yeah. And second one's just like it. They didn't ask him for this, but he gave him a bonus. He said, the second one's just like it. Love your neighbor like you love yourself.
Yeah.
Now, if I work back through the process, God initiated love with me, and he said, I really want relationship with you. Mm-hmm. And through the cross, he reaches his hand through Jesus and says, I want to be in relationship with you.
Yeah.
And you now have a choice to accept relationship with God through Jesus, or you have a choice, get out of my way, Jesus. I don't want relationship with God. But you have to now move him out of the way. If you understand that, you got to tell him, no, I don't want that relationship, at least not right now. But that's really all we have is right now. I can't serve him yesterday because it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can't be right with him tomorrow because it's not here.
Yep.
But I can do something with him today. So he reaches his hand through the cross and says, I want to be in your life. I want relationship with you. I want a loving, deepening relationship with you. You're that important to me. You're worth the life of Jesus.
Yeah.
And I'm committed to you. Do you want that?
Yeah.
And so I respond with, Lord, I don't even know how to love you, but thank you.
Yeah.
Teach me how to love. Yeah. So I love him, first of all. Then, and I think only then, can I really love myself in a healthy way.
Well, and that's what I was going to say, is we talk about this, the second commandment being love your neighbor as yourself. But I think there's so many people in society that don't even know how to love themselves.
No.
Which is where that first commandment comes in. Because if you just focus on that, if you focus on loving God with all your heart, soul, and mind, whether it's in that order or not, pretty sure it's in that order.
Heart, soul, mind, strength.
Strength, exactly. So if you truly do love God in that way, then you will follow those commandments. You will see how to love yourself. Does that kind of make? Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You'll treat yourself with respect.
Exactly.
And you'll start saying nice things to you. There's a book called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, and it's written by a psychologist. His name is Dr. Shem Helmstetter. Okay. And what to say when you talk to yourself. And as a psychologist, as a counselor, and as an instructor, he said, clearly 75% of what we say to ourselves about ourselves and about our circumstances is negative. If we talk to our best friends like we talk to ourselves about ourselves, we would no longer, if we talk to our best friends, they would no longer be our friends.
Yeah.
And many people actually are so critical of themselves that you could say they have learned to hate themselves.
Absolutely.
And they are their own worst enemy, and they sabotage their future. But if I can love me in a healthy way, now that sounds selfish, but really if I'd love myself in a healthy way, what I'm saying is accepting God's value statement, I say to myself about me, I am worth the life of Jesus. Yeah. I'm going to treat myself that way.
Yeah. But so I guess for somebody, I mean, if they're this far in, I guess.
Go ahead.
For somebody that is not a believer in Jesus, I guess.
Yeah.
hard because like you said, Jesus knows we're worth it, but let's throw ourselves into a scenario where somebody doesn't know Jesus or doesn't know that God exists, and they are just unhappy with themselves. I think that can affect your mental thought process and just how you interact with everybody else you run into. And so if you don't have a good attitude of yourself, then how on earth are you going to have a good attitude towards somebody else or any encounter you have? And so even just like you said, it's a little selfish, to go, hey, to take a step back and think, hey, what do I think about myself? But you need to have some confidence, to even be able to make an impact in other people's lives. Because if we're not striving to help others through life or to make an impact in other people's lives, now that may be a Christian point of view because, we want to share Jesus with others and a non-selfish thing, because there are definitely plenty of people out there that do only want to think about themselves. However, you cannot help anybody if you yourself do not have that confidence, if that makes sense.
You can't give to somebody else what you don't have.
Exactly. Thank you. Is
that a good way to say it?
Yes.
Well, and having taught in university and college settings, I teach biblical principles without quoting Bible, and I talk about the value statement without bringing the cross into the discussion. After the semester is over, every student that I've had and developed relationships with, we can talk about those things.
Yeah.
But to utilize the classroom for that would be totally unethical.
Yeah.
As it would be for a professor to, hey, I'm going to prove to you there is no God.
Exactly.
That's not the environment. That's not the situation for that. So we would both be wrong in that. But I do think that there's something to, okay, if you come across the book Strengths Finder.
I have not.
There's a great little book called Strengths Finder 2.0. And it gives you an assessment tool that you can do online to discover what your strengths are. When I was 19, I read a pamphlet called Enthusiasm. It was written by Paul J. Meyer, who at 27 years old had become a self-made millionaire. And I wanted to be a self-made millionaire one day.
27, yeah.
I'm still looking for that day, by the way.
Right.
And but he had become that, and he wrote this pamphlet on enthusiasm. And the basis of that was you want to be enthusiastic, act enthusiastic. But you've got to change your thought patterns. And the way to do that is to, first of all, discern what your personal strengths and what do you bring to the table.
Yeah.
Jacob, it's amazing to me as I do premarital counseling.
It's comfy, right?
And as I get premarital counseling and postmarital counseling often, couples will complain about the other or even about themselves. But
really?
They don't recognize what they themselves bring to the table.
They only see the negative.
Or they only see what the other person's strengths are.
Oh.
So I've asked a couple like this, tell me the top 5 things that you really love about yourself.
Yeah.
And they'll say, well, I like this, and I like this, and I like this, and they can't think of 5 often.
I was going to say, I personally, I think that'd probably be difficult for me, because if I try to make those thoughts or try to think about those, in my head, my be humble bell is ringing.
Yeah, right.
Chill out.
Right,
so
and I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not supposed to brag. And it sounds braggadocio, but it's not. It's just recognizing I have strengths. Yeah. I have something to offer. And if I were to ask you to tell me 5 things you like about me, I hope you can think of 5. Okay, let me change it. If I ask you, tell me 5 things you love about your wife.
Yeah.
Could you tell me 5 strengths that she has?
Absolutely.
Could you have to think about it really hard?
Not really hard. It might take me a second to choose 5.
Yeah, and probably go on to 10. But the thing is, and this is what he suggested, pretend you're a company and you're going out of business. Mm-hmm. Now, what do companies do when they go out of business? They take inventory.
Yeah.
Right? And so when you take inventory, you put a line down the middle, and you put your positives and your negatives, your assets and your liabilities. And so if you're a company and you're going out of business, you're going to divide the page in half, And on the right side, put the positives, the things you like about you as an individual, and the things you don't like, the things that you consider your weaknesses, not your strengths. Your strengths will be on the right, your weaknesses on the left. And you're going to do a ledger because you're a company. You're going out of business. So you have 5 sheets. Physical, because I live in a physical body.
Yeah.
I'm a physical person. Intellectual, or some would say mental, but some are more mental than others. But intellectual, okay.
Yes.
And emotional, and social, relational, and then spiritual. And if somebody says, well, I don't think I'm a spiritual body, okay, then leave that off. Okay. Just do the 4. Yeah. But I would suggest maybe analyzing that at some point. So if I look at myself physically and there's some things that I don't like, what would be those things that I don't like about me physically? And I think immediately, boy, that list is going to be long. Let's see, I've got a fake knee because I had to have a knee replacement, but for years it was painful. I was in a car wreck in 1978, thrown out, land on my head. I get headaches periodically. Strong migraine type.
Yeah, I was
headaches.
going to say migraine, more
I need
migraine.
Good chiropractic adjustment all over my body because it's thrown out of the car and I landed on my head and flipped around on the asphalt like a fish.
I didn't need that.
I'm a bit overweight. I need to lose about 20 more pounds, and I think I'm on a healthier stand, and I'll be able to keep up with my grandkids a little easier.
I don't know. They're fast, right?
Or your son whenever he starts running around.
Wow. Right now he's slow.
Yes. Right. But if let's see. Oh, yeah, my vision. I have hearing aids. There aren't that many other things physically that I don't like about me. But if I were to be honest with myself and evaluate my physical body, I have 2 feet that I can stand on, and I have full feeling in my body. Yeah. I have 10 toes, 5 on each side, and they operate right. And I have ankles, and my skeletal system works well. My muscular system I could improve on, but I have a good – my knee, I have a new knee, but both my legs work. Mm-hmm. How important is that? Somebody's paralyzed from the waist down, and there's by some operation you could give your legs, and he'll give you $1 million. Would you take it?
If you were paralyzed?
Yeah. Here's a paralyzed person.
Yeah.
And you would change legs, give up your legs that are working for you.
Oh, would
for
I
$1 million,
do that?
Would you take $1 million for your legs and let them have them?
No.
How about your arms?
Yeah.
How about your eyes?
No.
How about your ears? How about your heart? How about is that already you're worth over $6 million?
Yeah. There are some people that would.
Oh, there may
Absolutely.
be. Yeah. Try to give them my legs for $1 million.
Well, I mean, people give up their kidney? Is it 2 kidneys? You can sell one of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've heard of selling on the market, but
I don't think it's legal. But
no,
there's people that do it.
Right. So the point is, you're worth a lot more. And these things that I've said, if I'm honest, I've got a spleen in my body, and it obviously is doing its work. I have no idea what the spleen does, but it does whatever it does, and that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And my eyes, they may be weak, and I had this one operated on, and so I see distance and this one short, but they both work.
Yeah.
And my hearing aids, I hear, even without my hearing aids, I hear fairly well.
Yeah.
I think. And so, so that's it. But the list on that side is longer and more important to me.
Absolutely. Well, but that's a big thing is I think a lot of people focus on the negative part of the list and not the positive part, especially when it comes to a loved one or somebody they're choosing to love. They may not, like you said earlier, they may choose to see their positives instead of their negatives, especially if it's someone they're not like a spouse. Like a spouse, somebody you're with all the time, I think you might tend to see more negatives than you do positives. But somebody you may just see, a brother that you only see on a Sunday and a Wednesday or whatever it may be, the grass is always greener. So all you ever see is their positives, and you don't see where they do struggle. And so then you put them above yourself and like, oh, I'm not, I can't compete with that. I'm not that good. I don't have that money, or I don't, or I struggle with this and they don't, or whatever it may be. Right. All we can see is our negatives and their positives and not their negatives.
That's an excellent point.
But what I was saying with like a close loved one, I think we can then as you get to know somebody, you may only start to see more of their flaws, and that's where you can harm a relationship, harm a marriage, to where you're not following what true love is.
Sure.
Would you agree with that?
I do.
Not following
John
true love?
Gottman actually says that in his book, How to Have a Successful Marriage, why some marriages succeed and other marriages fail. And in the 25, 30 years of their research, they've discovered that if there's at least a 5-to-1 ratio, 5 positives for every 1 critical, but if it gets closer to a 1-to-1, a positive for a critical, a criticism, then you're headed for a divorce.
Yeah.
Now, you may not sign the paperwork, but there are a lot of couples who are divorced who never signed the paperwork.
Yeah.
And they even live in separate houses or separate parts of the house, and they sleep in separate bedrooms, and they maintain.
They've grown apart, yet they still exist with each in the same household, yet
exactly.
Apart. Yes.
Yeah, and you can feel the tension in the home, and they can feel the tension as well.
Yeah.
But that criticism then turns to a contempt, and the contempt grows to a defensiveness because I'm criticized and I become defensive. Well, you have problems too.
Yeah.
And then I stonewall. I just shut down. I don't care what you say. I'm not going to respond. And then in the stonewalling and the contemptness, when it reaches the contempt level and you just can't stand to be in the same room, John Gottman calls this the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The criticism, the defensiveness, the stonewalling, and the contemptness. The reversal of that is focus on the positive. Go back and do the things you did at the beginning of your relationship that helped you to grow to love each other.
Yes.
And when you take it to yourself to always find something to compliment and be thankful for, it changes the world. So that's part of the loving expression, and that comes out of commitment. So the value statement, choosing to see you as valuable and choosing to commit myself to you and to your best.
Yes.
But that comes out of, I recognize those things about me, which is where we started on this process of I'm a company going out of business. If I don't recognize I have things to bring to the table, then I enter into every relationship with this attitude.
Yeah.
What can you do for me?
Yes.
Not what can I do for you. So if I ask a couple, tell me 5 things you really love about yourself. What I'm really asking is, what are you bringing unique to this relationship that you believe nobody else can do like you do for her or for him in this relationship? So I'm asking her the same question.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think another thing, especially in the marriage aspect of true love, can be communication. Because if you do not love somebody enough to truly communicate, to tell them the truth, you can't grow. I find it hard to believe that you can grow closer to somebody without true communication.
You can't.
If you're not open.
Communication is to a relationship what food is to the body, or oxygen is even. So you take out communication, honest, open, transparent communication. And that is difficult because
it is.
I think also there are different levels, different kinds of intimacy. So in marriage, you have all 5 at its fullest, and you're moving toward a unity, a bond in every area. So you have a physical intimacy, you have intellectual intimacy. Those 5 that we talked about. You have intellectual, you have emotional intimacy. You have relational, that you do things together, play games or tennis or something, and spiritual intimacy. And whenever you focus on those intimacy then there's levels in each. So for guys, we're not necessarily physically attracted, but we'll punch and shake hands and hug and a bro hug or something like that, And the touch is important in a relationship. But when you are open to be touched, you're also opening yourself to be vulnerable.
Yes.
I'm opening myself up to you emotionally. I'll tell you some things that I struggle with emotionally. Yeah. But as I do, I become vulnerable to you. I'm opening self-disclosure physically when a couple, the ultimate physical contact right? The sexual relationship, you don't get any more vulnerable with each other than strip naked.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah, definitely.
And joining together in an exciting process, and what my father-in-law called a worship experience before the Lord. And it is. In fact, he suggested on our honeymoon that he said, Kev, I want to suggest to you on your honeymoon, before you engage in sexual relation, pray together.
That's cool.
This is a worship
This was your
experience before the
father-in-law?
Lord. Yes.
It's crazy.
He was my major professor in college as well. The only way I could get an A. So marry his daughter.
Funny.
Actually, he graded me harder. The point,
Yeah, probably.
spiritually, there's a bond that can develop in a relationship when you're communicating with God, with each other. So praying together out loud is a process that brings you not only closer to God with each other, but to each other.
Yeah.
Because you're talking to the one who's most important to each of you. You know, I was more committed. When Jan died in 2016, I would say that I was more committed to Jesus than I was to her. And I wanted to marry a woman who would be more committed to Jesus than she would be to me, because then I knew she'd always give me the best. And I knew that I would always give her the best.
Yeah.
And then from that, our praying together, our talking about Scripture together, our raising our kids and talking about Jesus with them in the home, all of that developed a bond, a spiritual
you grow closer.
Yes. Sometimes even to a oneness that was deeper and more satisfying in some ways than the sexual relationship itself.
True love. What I would define as true love.
Love, true love.
Yes.
So it wraps around all of those, value and a commitment to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And also out of the commitment is a willingness to be patient.
Yes.
And forgiving.
Yes.
And people have not learned how to forgive someone or how to receive forgiveness.
Or to forgive themselves, for that matter. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I just did a webinar the day, about an hour, with a group on powerful parenting. And I mentioned there the 3 hardest words. And this is when you blow it with your kid, that in your children, it's important for you to come back a little later and say, you know, I was wrong. I was wrong. Those are hard words to say. Harder words to say.
You were right.
I am sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Harder words to say. Please forgive me. Have children tell each other those 3 sets of words.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. They can get up to that. When they get to the please forgive me, it's like pulling, you're pulling the words out. You're saying, no, look, you're not leaving this rug until you tell her you're sorry and you want her to forgive you.
Yeah.
And until you say that, you cannot. And then they would hug each other and then everything would be cool.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how children have learned to forgive better than we have.
Yeah. I want to go back to where you were saying that all creates that vulnerability. I think tying it back to communication, it's the communication, especially in a marriage like that, allows you to have that vulnerability. Like you can't have that without communicating, especially like if I were to, let's say I'm the only one giving. It's not that way.
Yeah. But let's say it is.
For a scenario.
For some couples it is.
Absolutely.
This is real.
Yeah. So I'm the only one giving. Like I'm dedicating my life to giving to my spouse what she needs. Yet she's not returning the favor. Eventually, I get tired.
Yes.
In a scenario, eventually I would get tired. Eventually that person would get tired. If I just give up, then we both become that one. We both become only one-to-one, only seeing one positive for one negative.
Right.
But if I were to step up and have a crucial conversation and be willing to sit down and communicate, and she's willing to receive, we can communicate, hey, I feel like I am trying my best to give you what you need. If I can do it in a different way, please let me know. But I do not feel like I am receiving that love back from you, that commitment, what I need. If you are willing to have those conversations before it gets tough, before you need to have those conversations in front of
a therapist, or an attorney.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then you can usually grow from that. If both people can be mature, I would say that I believe that you would grow from that talk, to have that crucial conversation and grow from that. And that is where you are getting vulnerable, because, you know, there's she could not receive it well, so it's you got to be careful with the conversation, obviously. But then you can grow in that, and continue to have those conversations and be vulnerable and feel like you can share those deep things that are bothering you, why I may not be giving to you because I'm upset about something, and I can now be vulnerable to that. Do you kind of get the direction I'm going with
Absolutely.
that vulnerability?
There's a whole theoretical construct about what you just said. It's called social exchange theory. And the picture is Gary Smalley or Gary Chapman, I think it's Gary Chapman, suggests that in each of us, or in our heart, there's a love bank.
Yes.
And that we make deposits in each other's love bank. But if I'm the only one making the deposit, as I make a deposit, I'm expecting some interest in return.
Yes.
Some dividends. Yes. I'm expecting to give and take, where we're giving to each other and we receive from each other. Because as a friend, there are expectations. I'm committing myself to do something for you as your friend, to be there for you. But also, I'm expecting things from you as a friend. Yeah. Now, as a married couple, we're depositing in each other's love bank. But if one is always doing and the other is not, or even in just a shallow friendship, if I'm the only one that's always calling first, arranging to get together, I'm going to pay for lunch. I'll come over to your house and then, here, let me help you. Let me do this for you, and let me do this for you. And I'm giving and giving and giving. Finally,
eventually you're going to run out.
Well, you don't exactly. You've run out of stuff out of your love bank because nothing's coming back to, and you feel like, wow. And so that benefit analysis, the cost-benefit analysis starts playing a role, and you recognize, unless we talk about this, then second part of that is when I recognize, wow, that conversation we just had did not go well.
Yeah.
And coming back and talking about the talk. It's that meta-communication level. Let's talk about what we just did, because I feel like things got a little out of hand, and I really wanted you to hear what I had to say, so I wasn't listening as well to you. And I think the same thing was happening to you. Maybe I'm wrong, but help me understand. When you said this, what did you mean? Because what I heard you say was blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't mean that at all.
Yes.
Oh, what did you mean?
Yes.
So you're talking about your talk. You're raising the level of communication.
Yeah, share your story. Share your point of like how you received or how you heard. Because especially with tone of voice and everything, like my tone of voice tends to convey a message that I'm not meaning to convey.
Oh, unintentional communication is the reality of life.
Yes.
Nonverbal communication. And so which one is most believable? When I say, when she says, honey, do you love me? Yeah, I love you. Yeah, I love you. Yeah, I love you. The way you say what you say communicates. Of course, what you say is important, but the way you say what you say is possibly more important than that.
Yeah.
Somebody comes up and says, Kev, what do you think of my new girlfriend? And I look at her and say, and I say, wow, you really love her, don't you? Now, what he heard me say was, she's great. What I was saying was, you really love her, don't you? I don't want to say, oh, my. You love her? Really?
Yes.
But so how you say and what you say are both important, but it is also, I think Scripture says something important to love. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger. If I'm quick to speak, and I want to get you to understand me, I become more and more angry when apparently you're not listening, or you would understand my way of thinking, which is obviously the right way.
Yeah.
So, I think you're right in approaching this with a mutual understanding. Hey, I need to hear from you. This is what I was thinking you were saying. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Oh, did I come across that way?
Which can be a very, very difficult thing to do.
It is. Again, it's vulnerability,
Yes.
which is the heart of intimacy. And it's based on, if you're truly committed to me and you've demonstrated that, then I feel safe
Yeah.
to be vulnerable and know that you're not going to attack me.
Yeah. So I guess in summary, I guess.
Yeah.
So in the essence of, so in a marriage, the essence of true love is to be committed, to choose that person no matter what, and to be vulnerable and to have those crucial conversations and to weigh the scales, to give to each other's
And to express value.
Yeah.
You are so important to me. That's true in marriage, which is the ultimate relationship.
Yeah.
But even in the basic, it's true in raising children.
Yeah.
You want your children to know they're valuable to you and you're committed to them. I think it's important for your children to grow up in the home where they feel secure that mom and dad love each other more than they love me.
Absolutely.
That I'm not the center of everything and they don't drop everything just for me, but rather they genuinely care for each other. And and you've got to get it right with the order, get it right with God. Then you can get it right with you internally. Then you can get it right with others in a healthy way.
Yes.
Instead of using people and loving things, you love people and you use things.
Yes.
And that is so important. So what's most invaluable to me is, what do I think about the most, what I talk about the most, and what do I do the most. Those probably are going to indicate what's very valuable to me. And if a person I say is valuable to me, but I'm not thinking about her or him, I'm not doing anything with her or him, and I'm not expressing any kind of value to her or him in a relationship, so you're my friend. And if I haven't thought of you or haven't even reached out to communicate at all, how does that tell you I value you?
Yeah.
Or if I see you and I walk the other way.
Yeah.
know?
Very negative way.
Or don't even look at your direction.
Yeah.
So just the value and the commitment and everything else springs out of that. I think the safety of communication and being able to have what you call the crucial conversation, where we can increase the dialogue between us in a safe environment.
Yeah.
And the book, Crucial Conversations, is fantastic for that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the reason I say that is because that's actually what I was listening to today while I was working.
Great book.
It's been very good so far. I have a few hours left. But.
There's a fantastic book I've been using for my Facebook, Kev Talks Live, and that is Gary Smalley's book. Is called The DNA of Relationships. And he says in his book what I've been saying and training for years, and that is, life is all about relationship. He says life is all about relationships. The rest is just details.
Yeah.
And that's part of your DNA, your structure, because I either accept that there is a God or there's not a God. It's the God of the Bible, and he is love, and he created me in his image. So part of my DNA structure is relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. That sounds like a good summary to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that summary from a marriage standpoint, from a marriage standpoint was, what we said was, to value, to be committed and to choose that person, even when it may not be the best of times. But what would you say from a friend, to just summarize, I guess, what we've gone over from just a friend standpoint or a brotherly standpoint, what is true love in that sense, in that relationship?
It's going to be expressed differently, but it's still going to be value and commitment, because it's still the essence of love. And I was thinking about the ones who maybe aren't married right now, but they want to be.
Oh, yeah.
And instead of finding the right person, now is the time to become the right person, to work on understanding your own strengths and what it is you're bringing to the table. And you become
Great point.
You become stronger in an area, not by working on your weaknesses to make them better, but to focus on your strengths to make them stronger. Whatever you focus on, it becomes bigger. It's like putting a black dot on a white board and asking, what do you see? You keep staring at it, keep staring at the black dot. that black dot grows, and pretty soon it covers the whole. And then when you look everywhere else, that's what you see. You see the black dot, and if the black dot represents my weaknesses, but I keep focusing on that, they're going to get bigger. But all that whiteboard around it, if I focus on that, the good stuff in my life, that black dot actually gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah. So the more I focus on the strengths and how God has created me, and I'm bringing myself in alignment with that, I'm more prepared for marriage because I'm more aware, what am I bringing into this relationship? So for the one who's not yet married, or for the one who says, I'll never be married, that's okay. You don't have to be married.
Yeah.
But you do need relationships. And when people feel pained and in conflict, and they cut back and build a defensive wall, it doesn't take them long before they're trying to connect with somebody pretty soon.
Yeah, somebody different.
Even people who divorce. It's amazing to me. The divorce rate can be 50 to 70% depending on where they are in the population and what's going on in their life. 50 to 70% divorce. You know how many people get married again after a divorce?
Probably
most of them.
Most of them. Yeah,
most of them. It's not because of a lack of It's not because of a lack of value of marriage. It's that they still want to be married, just not to that person, and which is interesting because they've changed so much that marriage probably worked now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the problem is, they're a lot of times they're focusing on the other person and not what they need to do. Exactly. So, like you said, if you maybe aren't finding the right person, maybe the right person isn't finding you, or you can't find the right person because you're not ready or presenting a worthy a worthy front for marriage, or worthy
you companion. Don't even know what you have to offer. You're just looking for, you've got emptiness in your heart and your life, and you have needs, and you think this person is going to be able to satisfy all of that for me. And it's like, okay, here's the description: 2 dry sponges trying to draw. You drop them in a dry bucket, and they're trying to draw moisture from each other, but they don't recognize they have anything to offer. But what would happen if they were to fill up and say, here are my strengths, and here are my strengths, and they squeeze it out, and both of them now go down a bucket, and they just both fill up from each other. That's a great metaphor.
That is a good metaphor. Yes, I agree. I have never heard that before.
I think I made it up.
No, it works. It works. And so to prepare yourself, because if you're not bringing anything to the table, if you're not loving yourself or understanding what you have to bring to that commitment, then nobody wants to have that commitment if you can't. I guess I don't know what I'm trying to. Let me rethink my thought process there.
I get what you're saying, because it's difficult to
express.
Express, and it's like I'm thinking about it, and I knew the point, but as I'm getting there, it's and that happens so often.
Yes,
is thinking ahead. But I hear what you're saying, and that is you've got to understand what you're bringing to the other.
Yes,
and then you can draw from each other.
Yes. And so I think that is a great advice to take a step back, to look at yourself and say, hey, what can I bring to this? What can I bring to bring value to this other person? What can I bring to this relationship to allow somebody to say, hey, I want to be with this person because they value me. They have this particular skill. They're great at communication. They're great at being there and listening and knowing what I need. I want to be with that person. It's not about looks. It's not about how much you can sweet talk them or whatever it may be, but it's what you can truly bring to that table as far as true love comes, as far as that valuing the other person. So
absolutely.
That's great advice, I think. So awesome. I think that summarizes it pretty well. So
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to do this with you, and maybe we'll do it again sometime, because I think there's such a especially if we dive more into both the marriage and the parenting.
I would love to do that. Yeah, that'd be great.
So we'll do that in the future sometime.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys for listening. If you want to leave us a comment or just pitch in, and if you had an idea for something you said and you want to share your perspective with us, You can contact us at thezoomerperspectiveshow@gmail.com. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can simply leave a comment. Other than that, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. See you later.